Hello, this is Dr. J back with some more Let's Play Class Heroes 2G Remaster Edition. Last episode, we got a new quest, a huge quest, to get 5 Dragon Orbs from a whole bunch of new labyrinths, which is awesome. And we started exploring the first of these new labyrinths, the Path of Oblivion. 100%ed the first map, and now we're entering the second one. Crash snails. Very windy path here. I do like the tile set for this one, nice and dark and ominous looking. Really looks like an ancient ruin that has become infested by monsters and evil. So that's pretty cool. I wonder, just kind of idly speculating while we fly around. Uh-oh, they ambushed us. Okay, they missed. Since the first game hinted at the purpose of the labyrinths and their creators, and it almost kind of like did a tease as though it was gonna reveal some really interesting revelation or secret about the labyrinths and the beings who created them, and then it never actually followed through. Which, to put it a little more crudely than I ordinarily do, but it kind of captures the feel. It really kind of felt like a cock tease. It's like it promised this really cool revelation and then never delivered. Now, because I don't really remember a whole lot about where the plot goes from here, other than that a fallen Celestian is involved, that's pretty much it. And I'm pretty sure that machine on the path comes into play again. Other than that, I don't really remember much about the plot from this point onward, so that leads me to speculate whether we're going to learn more about the labyrinths and their creators. And we got a little bit of lore when we investigated that machine earlier with Ruote, as Ruote gave us kind of a minor little exposition dump about the ancient civilization. There's always an ancient civilization. I'm fine with that trope because it's really cool. The ancient civilization that somehow destroyed itself. And his speculation that that ancient machine was actually basically... He described it as a grave, but the way he described it, it sounds like a stasis pod, where whoever is buried there, it preserves your body and mind, presumably in stasis, so you can awaken in a later era. Which is quite interesting. And then, like, horrible evil spirits came out of it, so it seems like maybe something didn't quite go right with that. We got ambushed. Okay, nothing much happened. Flame delivery. I bet that you, sir, are ice vulnerable, or water vulnerable. And apparently, through some relationship that is not yet clear, that device also had something to do with a bunch of missing students who all showed up when we defeated the evil spirits. Exactly what's going on with that is not yet clear to me. But it does make me wonder if the ancient civilization and the creators of the labyrinths are one and the same. If the people who created the labyrinths are the same people as this ancient civilization. Would kind of make sense. The one thing that was suggested about the ancient labyrinths in the first game was that forbidden knowledge and items were sealed away in them until such time as the current inhabitants of the land became, like, ready to acquire those secrets, that ancient knowledge and stuff. And they had the power to resurrect... what was her name? Yuno's sister. I'm forgetting her name. Nora or whatever. Nora's probably completely wrong. They had the power to resurrect her from death, which is not necessarily that impressive, because we can do that too. But they also turned her into some kind of really powerful guardian, apparently. And then she was terrible at her job, and Demoria was able to plunder the place and get forbidden artifacts anyway, but set that aside. It seems that the Labyrinth creators were nonetheless able to imbue Yuno's sister with some considerable power. Oh, a defender! We encountered plenty of these in the first game. I think this is our first time seeing one in the second game. What would you be vulnerable to? I have no idea. Let's try hitting you with Gleam. Oh, that did okay damage. Oh, she silenced it and it tried to cast a spell. That was interesting. Alright, we got it. Level for Grom. Fantastic hit points. 43 hit points. Wow. We're going to save that. But anyway, like I was saying when I played the first game, I thought the mystery of the labyrinths was really interesting. Especially when Demoria started to suggest that there was actually a lot more to it than we knew, than what we were told. And so if we end up learning more about that and the Labyrinth creators in this game, as long as it's not something lame, then that would be really cool, and I'd be pretty excited about that, because I love that kind of mystery. And although it's arguably best if you don't completely explain everything, because that can take some of the mystique out of it, and just make it seem kind of mundane if you just explain everything entirely. But it's also nice to not just leave everything a completely unexplained mystery that is just entirely open to interpretation. I think it's nice when you at least get hints so that you can make educated guesses and maybe put some pieces together yourself to come to some interesting conclusions. I think maybe that's kind of the nice sweet spot for interesting lore mysteries and that kind of thing. We're unlocking that. Stun Gas is a potential TPK. So I'm hoping maybe we get something like that, but I don't know. Maybe they're not going to address it at all. Maybe that's not a plot point that ever comes up again in the whole series. I haven't a clue. Let's see. Let's go this way next. Nice. Okay. Ah, there's a door here. I was gonna say we didn't leave much unexplored over there, but if there's a door, then I guess we did. Now, as for the things that have been hinted at in this game, I would like to assume that the plot writers are competent enough that they're going to tie together the disparate plot threads that we've seen so far. And I have a very vague memory that they do, and that the different plot elements we've seen start coming together. But like I said, it's very vague. But I think that they will. I think they're going to tie these different things together. Alright, let me stop babbling long enough to check the borders real quick. Looks like we've explored pretty thoroughly until we get to about here. It doesn't look like I missed anything en route to that. But we've got the witches, or rather, not the witches, the cultists who get mind-controlled, who go around chanting Strega, 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 which we have learned means witch. They summoned a demon at one point. We briefly saw in the previous episode that much tougher enemies have now appeared in the Witch's Forest, which could potentially suggest that maybe like the demon summoning or summoning of other kinds of monsters is progressing there. There was that quest where Flan wanted to have a doll made of her because there was some kind of rumor going around that if you have a doll made of you, that your dreams will come true or whatever. And so we found the maker of the dolls on the path to the ruins. I think we can all agree that she was kind of low-key sinister. Seemed pretty sketchy. Okay, we found the way to the next floor. And got the doll made of Flan. I was suspecting the entire time that it's some kind of voodoo doll thing. And I then came to suspect, and I still do, that those dolls are actually what's used to control the cultists. But Flan didn't keep her doll, she gave it to Limon. And so that does lead to a question. If you have assuming that the dolls are used to control people, which we don't know, but that's my conjecture. I think it makes sense. I think it seems likely. But if that is the case, if you have a doll made of you but you don't keep it on you throw it away or give it to somebody else, can it still be used to control you? I would assume the answer may be yes, otherwise I don't see where that plot thread is going. Because my prediction for where that plot thread is going is that at some point, Flan is going to... Oh, that's interesting. There's actually two completely different exits. That one goes to Lost Hope, and that one goes to Lost Hope and Deep Zone? What? Oh no, they both go to Lost Hope, but that one goes to Lost Hope, but is also in a Deep Zone. Okay, got it. Oops. Because I don't see where else that plot thread could possibly be going. My prediction is that Flan is eventually going to come under control and become a Strega cultist, and it's going to be because she had that doll made of her. If that's not what happens, then I'm going to argue that the signposting of the plot is very misleading. Because it certainly acts like that's what's going to happen. How Ruote's brother looking for the strongest sword ties into all this, I have no idea. They're kind of suggesting it does, because Ruote seemed to think that he made progress finding the strongest sword when we were investigating that ancient machine, the, like, stasis grave machine. Spark Mouse, huh? But at present, how that ties in, I haven't a clue. I don't even have a guess, really. Go ahead and quake the Spark Mice, then. There's various other subplots that have been going on, like Asti and Dory, that I don't know if those are going to tie into the main plot, or if those are just kind of subplots that don't directly relate to the main plot. I'm not sure on that one. Now, the one thing that is potentially kind of spoilery, because I explicitly remember it, is, as I've said a few times, I remember a fallen Celestian that you have to fight as a boss, and I think a pretty major boss. And because I'm so suspicious of Pane-sensei, because she's just so sweet and angelic, that it's like her sweetness and angelicness is tuned up so high that it makes you think that she's going to secretly turn out to be evil, kind of thing. Just, you know, sort of metagame thinking. And certainly she has done a lot of stuff that, if you're looking at it with a suspicious eye, seems sketchy. I already covered them all, but just to summarize again, and this probably doesn't even cover everything, but just some of the most suspicious stuff. are that she has access to the vault. That somebody had smuggled a grotesque worm queen into the vault. She seems to be the #1 suspect in terms of opportunity and just general circumstantial evidence. There was where Chianti-sensei had her final exam to become a teacher, and she was supposed to rescue us from some monsters, and were a bunch of ice golems. And it was a little unclear with the way the storytelling, the way the cutscene happened, but it seemed suggested that that went very awry, and we weren't supposed to be in such considerable danger and get swarmed by all those golems. And Pane-sensei said that was her slip-up. What if that wasn't a slip-up at all? What if that was a deliberate attempt to have us assassinated because we keep getting in her way? And then there was when she wanted us to get that curse powder for her, which, you know, maybe she actually wants to do something evil with it. I think there might have been another quest I'm forgetting where we did something similar for her. And now she wants us to get these dragon orbs, and maybe she has nefarious purposes for that. So all of that leads me to suspect that maybe she's the fallen Celestian that we end up fighting later in the story, that I remember. And that Pane, the fallen Celestian, and the doll maker who we encountered on the Ruin Path are all one and the same person. That is currently my official prediction, but we'll see if that all pans out to be correct or not. Now, what exactly she's trying to do, I don't know. Like, right now, it just appears to be something generically evil. Making a cult, summoning demons, trying to kill people. Why? Who knows? Presumably it has something to do with that ancient machine. Presumably ties into that somehow. But now we're kind of reaching the limits of my conjecture and my vague memory. Hopefully all this speculation isn't boring anybody. I'm just kind of thinking out loud while we explore the Path of Oblivion. Because I don't really have much else to talk about at the moment, and talking about the game's story seems like as good a way to fill air as anything else. To be clear, I am having fun exploring it, because I basically always have fun exploring new locations. So I'm not babbling on about the story because I'm bored at all. It's just what my mind is on, how my mind is wandering as I explore. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this ties into the first game. There have been suggestions, I think just through, like, items and stuff, that we're going to see the schools from the first game again. Which would be really cool. And we literally got a map for Holdea, and Holdea Cave was one of the locations in the first game. So it's going to be interesting if we start visiting locations from the first game. I would think that was pretty cool if it happens. But I honestly don't remember. So we'll see. At the very least, it seems like we must visit Holdea again, or I don't know why there would be a map for it in the game. It'll be interesting to see if we run into Demoria again. I have like a really vague memory that really Demoria pops up again. Not necessarily as a villain this time, but I could be completely 100% making that up. So don't hold me to that at all. I have no confidence that that is a real memory and not just something that my brain just conjured up out of nothing. But if that does end up being the case, that'd be interesting. Where the heck does this go? Interesting. I wasn't expecting to find an exit, really. Aside from, you know, the one that you strewed. What the heck? Okay. Interesting stuff. Maybe we'll check that out before we move on to what I think is the fourth and final map of this place. It's interesting sometimes how there will be things that are very firm and vivid memories that you're really confident are actually memories and are pretty accurate. And even then you can be wrong. There can be things that you think you remember really well, and then you later learn that it turns out your memory was pretty inaccurate. But still, there are things where you remember it well and vividly enough that your confidence that it's a real memory is much higher. And then there's stuff where you just barely remember it at all. Just tiny little fragments here and there, very vague ones. But then there's this kind of weird fuzzy middle, where there's stuff that you remember it pretty vaguely, but you do kind of have a memory of it, and so you think that some of it might be a real memory. But at the same time, you're not entirely confident of that. And the human mind is a weird thing. So it can basically sometimes more or less just make something up. But then you think that it's something you remember, even though really it's basically just a figment of your imagination. It's kind of strange how that works sometimes. And Demoria appearing in this game really falls into that fuzzy category where I can't figure out if that's a real memory or just something my mind is just conjuring. Okay, so if we want to 100% this, we're going to have to go to it from this side, clearly. And do we want to do that immediately, or do we want to go to Strewed first? Let's go to Strewed first, I think. So that we can restore Seraphi's MP. No trap, huh? Well, if I'm about to restore Seraphi's MP anyway. Okay, confirmed. Go ahead and open it then, Aisha. Flame delivery is dead. Oh, we get the awesome music again. Okay, so this is not a city or anything. It's just some kind of outpost. But apparently it has an inn and a trading post. Where can we explore from here? Oh, we can go to Skyrun Bridge from here, which is another of the dragon orbs we have to get. So this path led to 2 of them. Interesting stuff. Oh. I was mentally intending to go to the Zakuto ruins. Because that appears like it's going to lead to that thing to the south. And then I totally derped and went to the desert instead. That is quite funny to me. I meant to go south, not west, because after we discovered that Zabayon is still a dead end, and Panini is still a dead end, I was like, well then, the way to get to this thing to the south must be through the Zakuto ruins, right? I meant to go that way, and then I didn't, and I went this way instead. Well, that was just one of those cases where intention and action did not align with each other at all. Oh well, that's fine. It doesn't matter what order we do them in as far as I know. But anyway, ooh, Blue Dragon Blade. Oh, hey, finally a better weapon for Grom. That's cool. We can afford it too. Oh, a better weapon for Wheeler. It's one-handed. Better weapon for Candy too. Heavy flail is not better. Ooh, Khalid Bulg, except nobody can use it. Okay, interesting. Khalid Bulg is a gun. Whatever. I guess I'll accept that. Path of Oblivion. Do I have the map for Skyrun Bridge? Well, let's start out by getting this Blue Dragon Blade, because as we've discussed, Grum's Oni Slicer has been obsolete for quite a while. Accuracy goes down a bit, but... So how much better was that than his Oni Slicer? Oh, a lot better. That's a pretty big improvement. But it is a two-hander. While we're at it, let's get this Metal Hammer, since it looks like a big improvement too. And is amazingly a one-handed weapon. So who do we want to put it on? Maybe Wheeler, because Candy's already a killing machine because she's dual-wielding. Actually, Wheeler will be able to dual-wield now too. Ooh, which of these do we want to give him? Maybe the Goddess Rapier to really increase his accuracy, even though it's not as damaging as the Nunchucks. Yeah, I think that's probably the better call. Wow, I have a feeling that my frontliners just got incredibly even deadlier than they already were, which is scary. Because they were already pretty flippin' deadly. Now that cost us an insane amount of money. Because we had been getting a lot of it, and yet we now have a lot less than we did. I already have samurai armor in my inventory. Why do I not have that equipped on Grum? I'm sure there's a reason. Because it kills his accuracy. I kind of figured that was probably the answer. So I guess I don't want that. Well, that one doesn't hurt his accuracy. How much does it... Okay, defense goes up by 1 and evade goes down by 2. That's not a good trade. Right, now I was going to check if I already have the Skyrun Bridge map. That is not where I would check that. There, inventory. I think I don't. I don't remember seeing that. Let's sort these. The maps should all go together, right? Except Mashlenia. Display the map of Mashlenia College. Wait a minute, is Mashlenia a dungeon in this game? That kind of suggests Mashlenia is a dungeon. Maybe you don't revisit the colleges as colleges, or maybe you only revisit Mashlenia and it's been turned into a dungeon, like it's fallen. How cool would that be? Another thing I legit don't remember. I'm not feigning ignorance. Okay, sure enough, we don't have the Skyrun Bridge map, so let's buy that. And I think with that, we've bought everything of interest here. Sweet Bean Jelly could be a quest item. Let me write down its location, just like I had done for the 7 Phantom Thief tools. Sweet Bean Jelly at Strood. There we go. Okay. It's only 300, so it's tempting to buy it just in case. Oh, let's get a Wyvern Summon ticket. We have a lot of money right now, so I'm feeling pretty flush. Okay, now let's sell some stuff. What don't we need? We don't need this kind of stuff. You can just buy it. Maybe I'll hold on to the rough iron, though. String junk we definitely don't need. Or regular string, really. The silver powder, the gold, I'll hold on to all that stuff. Okay, anything that is not triple digits we can definitely sell. Ooh, broken guillotine apparently makes something really good. We're gonna have to look into that. Just to judge from the fact that it's quadruple digits. Whether it's something anybody in the party can use is another question. Leather leggings -8, goodbye. Kind of feel like the nunchucks are definitely obsolete at this point. They still do more damage than the other options, though. We don't need the Oni Slicer. We don't need the Light Hero Sword. I guess the Morning Star is basically obsolete now. After having been a good weapon for so long, but it's just strictly worse than the Metal Hammer. Yeah, time to sell it. You served me well for a long time, Morning Star. May you find a worthy new owner. Farewell. Alright, anybody hurt? Doesn't look like it. Let's go ahead and rest. 150G, getting expensive. She's the only one who really needs it. Okay, let's make a save. And then head back in. Continue exploring the Path of Oblivion. Alright, teleport back to... Alright, so from there we can enter the Dragon Orb Hall, which is the final map, I believe, but I want to see where this goes. I think we might be able to finish up the Hall of Oblivion this episode. We'll see. Depends on various factors. Huh. Where does this go? Just circles back. Fascinating. Weird. We haven't seen maps just snake back and forth between each other like this before. Is this literally just a dead end? Apparently. Okay. Surely there's going to be a quest there or something. That's just too weird otherwise. Is it just me, or a secret door is not a mechanic anymore? I don't think we found a single secret door the entire game. Maybe that's just not a thing anymore. It only just now occurred to me. Stone. Okay, just garbage. As usual. It's usually just garbage, but every once in a while you get really good stuff. Mortal Strike. Go ahead and just unlock Sherry. Let's actually go a little slower and check out the damage Wheeler and Grum are doing now. Nice. Well, he Flash Slash, which does less damage. That wasn't necessarily representative. Nice. Okay, we didn't get to see his single target damage. Huh. We still haven't 100%ed it. But I'm pretty confident we didn't miss anything, which must mean that you come back onto this map from the Dragon Orb Hall. That would make sense. Let's teleport then. Zoop. Oh, my cat's now sticking her butt in my face. Oh! Oh, this looks really cool. This is awesome looking, actually. Let's take a moment to appreciate the atmosphere of this place. Look at the lighting. Very cool. I love how this gets its own unique tile set. That's really neat. Well, it's a little anticlimactic, but let's pace out the dimensions and 100% it. Huh. But if you don't go from there back to here, What did I miss for 100%ing it? Actually, I haven't 100%ed this one either. Did I miss something? Is there somewhere that there's a border? Well, let's worry about that later. First thing we want to do is get this dragon orb, which I'm sure is going to have some kind of badass guardian protecting it. Okay, that's just counts as a wall. Alright. So cool looking. Well, here we go. Actually, let's turn on some buffs first. Omni Sight. And why not some Spell Resume? Intruder alert, intruder alert. Oh, you're pretty cool looking. Sword Breaker. Set up an impenetrable wall. Focus, focus. Maybe cast one True Sight, increase our accuracy a bit more. Focus, magic barrier, and attack. Once again, the awesome boss battle music. Love it every time. Here's Slash It. What would you be vulnerable to? You're metal, so I feel like lightning should work well. Although it says lightning is good against water. You look like you'd be earth more than that. Let's try Quake. No, it did okay damage. Though I feel like 177 isn't amazing. So far, our barriers are holding up. Okay, Fierce Slash. Try... I don't know, try Dark, see what that does. The secondary weapon's not doing much against this thing. 231 was pretty good. We got it. No problem. There. I just wanted to end perfectly where the song ends, because I think that was cool. Ooh, good gold. Suddenly, very surprisingly lighthearted music. Aren't you... You're Olive's friend, not Gelato's. So I guess you're on our side. Wow. I guess you guys legitimately are pretty tough if you've been going through this labyrinth. You know, Copa, I might have to revise my opinion of you. I've thought Ruote was probably pretty tough all the time. Is Olive with you? 3 worlds, doors to connect them. God turned 3 powers into stones and hid them across the land. We're looking for 5 orbs, not 3. God's power, the law of creation, God's own power that God sealed away before falling into a slumber. Students left the room. Interesting. So when we say God, do we mean like an all-powerful creator God? A just powerful divine being? Or actually a completely natural being that was just so powerful that it's like a god? Could be any of those. So let's see if we can find anything that I missed here that would explain why I don't have 100% map completion on it. I'm one darker than dark. Don't see anything on the outer border. Anything on the inner borders that I missed? Nothing's jumping out at me. No, maybe I'm just blind. Maybe there's something obvious, but I'm not seeing anything. We 100%ed the first one. Huh. Yeah, my eyes are darting all over these borders and I'm not seeing anywhere that I missed something. Apologies if there is something and you're looking right at it and pointing it. I found it. It's here. Okay. Again, apologies if you saw that long before me and were just pointing at the screen screaming. I got there eventually. My observational skills aren't always the best, and that's even more true when I'm tired, like now. Let's just Blazing Fist these guys. There's too many of them and I can't be bothered. Get out of here. Aisha gained a level. Great hit points. She's finally getting good hit point rolls, and her hit points are becoming... I mean, they're still not good, but less pathetic. I mean, she's almost graduated to merely poor instead of pathetic in the hit point category. I'm very proud of her. Alright, hold up. I want to save that because it was such a good level. Now, I was... right, heading to here. I didn't realize it was so far. I should have just teleported. Oh, there's so many of them. Oh, good lord. Tell you what, just boom them. I just can't be bothered. I could try Mass Death to see if it actually works. I want to oh, it doesn't affect all enemies, just one group. Boom them then. Oh, I skipped it. I should have watched it. That looks like Mass Death to me. Who needs Mass Death when you can just drop a meteor on your opponents? My cat once again got offended and left. Okay. And now we've 100%ed it. Oh, it teleports you to here. Okay, that explains what that exists for. No, I think I still haven't 100%ed this one, though, right? What am I missing here? This. Found it. This is what I'm missing. Probably a whole network of stuff over here on the east side. Let's get this, so we've 100%ed the whole Path of Oblivion before we call it an episode. Looks like I should be able to do this in well under an hour, so it won't be an absurdly long episode. That's good. Okay, bye. Maybe there's actually not very... Oh, there was a door. Level for Candy. Gain Faith, lost Agi, 26 hit points. Not terrible. You're really on a success streak lately, Aisha. Great job. Oh, that teleported us up to here. That's irritating. That would take forever to get back, wouldn't it? Yeah, heck with that. We're teleporting for sure. Also not going straight back to the school, because it looks like this pretty much leads directly to the next place where we get another dragon orb, so we're going to do that instead. What was that noise? I should probably go check on that. Apologies, but I need to go see why there was a loud noise. Was that you, cat? I just knocked something on the floor. Yeah, nothing alarming. My bad cat just knocked something on the floor, but it wasn't anything important. and didn't do any damage to anything. But I hear a loud crashing noise, and I want to see what it was. Oh, level 4 Wheeler, gain wisdom, got not terrible hit points. Cool, cool. A chest. Poison dart. Alright, well done. Still haven't 100%ed it. Now what am I missing? Oh, this. I'm missing this. Irritating. I didn't even notice that. Man, teleport is such a lifesaver. Imagine how much longer this would take. Literally one cell alcove. Now we've 100%ed it, I presume? Yes. And that's it. That's it for the Path of Oblivion. Well done to us. Let's head to Strood. Then we're going to save it there. And prepare to go to, what was it, the Sky something bridge? Skyrun Bridge. Alright. That's what we're going to be exploring for the next Dragon Orb in the next episode. I'll see you then.